An Arizona Lotus Corp radio station.
Do you even smart speaker, bro?
Listen on your Amazon Echo device. Alexa, play Rock 102.1 KFMA.
You say it, I'll play it.
You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Hit me with that drop, weirdo.
You did that.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Wednesday, August 2nd. Thank you for tuning into the show. Good morning, weirdo.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tucson. Hope you guys are all situated now, recovering from this year's monsoon. It's not over for sure. And it's easy to just kind of laugh at the storm coming through when it doesn't really cause too much damage or inconvenience in your life, which I was fortunate. You were fortunate enough not to deal with that, but you kind of forget that this monsoon this year really put a hamper in a lot of people's lives for a couple of days. Major inconvenience. In fact, actually, there's residents who just got their power back after 4 days.
Wow.
Yeah, insane. And of course, the storm came in like a bat out of hell and did some damage while it was here. I did a little walk around my neighborhood yesterday, right? I was bored. I was just like, I'm going to go for a walk. So I'm walking and I come across this house where this huge tree toppled over right into the middle of the house.
Oh, no.
Destroyed it, right? Like destroyed the roof and everything. And actually the homeowner was like outside cleaning up a little bit. And I was like, oh, gotcha, huh? And he's like, yeah. He's like 78-year-old tree, one of the last in this area of that kind. So yeah, like the legacy of that tree was something. And he was furious at TEP because TEP for years would come out and they would trim that tree because it was close to the power lines, but they would only trim it on the side that was close to the power line. So when the storm came, it was heavy on one side. That side was leaning towards the house. So essentially, like it had all the weight and momentum behind it when a gust of wind came.
To fall on his house.
Yes, to topple over and go right into it. And I should have took pictures, but like I said, he was outside. It was like wrecked his house, you know.
I couldn't imagine.
I know. And you look at me being a good like neighbor and everything. I start the conversation and then I'm such a weirdo. I'm like 30 seconds into conversation and in my head, I'm like, okay, I got to go now. I got to go. So I start slowly like backpedaling and he's full-blown conversation. I just made a new friend and like we could be talking about this for 15 minutes at least. And I'm like, I just wanted a really quick update. I gotta go.
Just do that Homer Simpson gif of just slowly backing into the bush.
That's I imagine that's how I look. And I mean, like I cared and it was good to have that conversation, but I don't know, maybe I was too high for it. But
I've done that before. I'm like, I regret starting this conversation 25 seconds in. I'm like,
yeah, what do you do? I mean, he would have been perfectly content for me to just walk by and not say a word.
Right.
It was me that opened up my big fat mouth out of curiosity. And of course, being like, oh, sorry about your luck. And did you get, do you have the insurance and everything? And luckily he did. So he's going to be taken care of. But yeah, then I started knowing too much and I felt uncomfortable about it. So weird.
Beef vegan, best neighbor ever.
Yeah, right. You ever do that? I mean, you just said that you do that. Sometimes you start a conversation, you just want to be cordial and nice, and then like 30 seconds into the conversation, you want to be anywhere else in the world.
Right.
And you're like, oh no, I shouldn't have done this.
It's really bad when I do that with my family, though. I'm like, man, I could have just texted this instead of opening up a whole phone call.
And thank God for text messages, honestly. Yes. And that's a problem because there's some friends I do not pick up the phone and call only because I'm like, oh, wait, I don't have 45 minutes. Like, because you have friends that you are talkers with, and those are great friendships for sure.
Right.
But you really have to clear out your schedule just to do like a little pop in.
Oh, yeah. I will put it on the calendar. Like I will
Oh.
block off an hour because I'm like, I'm going to catch up with my friend Amy who lives in Michigan, or I'm going to catch up with my friend Mel. Like I have to block it off. Otherwise it's not going to happen.
That's smart, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah. And, eventually I'll get some time and I got some friends to catch up with too. But yeah, an hour at a time, at least,
Mhm.
and not just listening to what they have to say and then just hoping that they ask what's up with you because, then you got a lot of updates.
Right. And it's always interesting with like my dad. My dad is that person where like he will hang up the phone before he says goodbye. But I will get either one. Either he has all the words to say when I don't have time,
Yeah.
or doesn't want to talk when I have the time. And I'm like, okay, cool. Bye, Dad.
Yes. That reminds me of my dad. Well, anyways, we hope that you didn't have to sustain too much damage and you continue to go through this monsoon season unscathed. It did bring down the temperature yesterday to a nice cool degree. So that was nice. And it's going to get back up hot again. But whatever. That's Arizona. We're in August. We're in that home stretch before fall's right around the corner. I'm already starting to see Halloween stuff pop up on my social media feed. So get ready. All right. All right. We got a great show lined up for you today. Don't forget, we are giving away tickets for a couple things. First and foremost, Saliva and Drowning Pool. They're performing together at Club Encore. We're giving tickets away for that at 8 o'clock. Of course, the song Signature Heating and Cooling Summer Fun Song of the Day.
There we go.
I will tell you what that is at around 8:10 this morning. And I got tickets for Ricky Ratman. That show was moved from the Rialto Theater to 191 Tool.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's going to be a fun show nonetheless. And we'll give away tickets for that. Hell, I got a pair of tickets to give away right now. So if you're looking to have a night of storytelling and listen to Ricky Ratman talk about his 1 foot in the gutter experience. Now, he was the former host of MTV's Headbangers Ball and the owner of the Cat House. And this guy has lived rock and roll. So he has amazing stories and he has a show at 191 Tool on August 8th. If you want to go to that show, call number 10 right now, 600 KFMA, 600-5362. We'll be back with your morning moron after Shine Down. Let's kick things off a little Motionless in White. Who you saw? There you go. What's going on, everybody, on the podcast broadcast? Thank you for joining us, and good morning, Weirdo.
Good morning.
And thanks for tuning in. We have a lot that we're going to cover today, and we're going to share Hot Rock Super Joint's latest movie hack. I was hoping Hot Rock could join us, but his work schedule has been all jacked up. I did message him. If he messages back, we're going to make that happen because that's going to be cool. Because I just need to catch up with Hot Rock. He's still doing his thing. It's Wednesday. He's got his Super Show podcast happening tonight, so don't forget about that. And you know what came out today, too, which I was stoked about. I started watching this morning. It was Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Okay, it did come out this morning. And then tomorrow should be Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, on Peacock?
Yes.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's good. I got the rest of my week kind of planned out.
We're doing family movies this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And, pretty soon The Flash. And I was like, I'm tempted. I want to see The Flash. And I know that it didn't do good and it didn't get great reviews. But, and I want to see it for free. But I was looking on Prime. I was like, maybe I'll rent it because I'm being impatient. And to rent it, it was like $20, something insane. Like, okay, go fuck yourself, Flash and DC. So, but Guardians of the Galaxy 3, that's a good binge. And of course, Super Mario Brothers. I haven't seen that. And
we have not either. Yeah. And we were having the big debate of like, is it worth the $20 to rent or we just wait?
Yeah.
And we're waiting.
That's a good question you ask, Anthony. How many people were shot or stabbed at the Wildcat House back in the day, which is now, what's the name of that barbecue place? Because I think we're going to have them in, the owner here soon. I know that we go there for our holiday parties. It's a good place too, but a good building. But yeah, I heard all about the stories and the legends of the Wildcat House and people getting there. I mean, I worked at a place that was much similar to that. They basically call it, Brother John's. Yeah. Thank you, Manny. Yeah, it was very similar to, like, they called it Roadhouse because of how rough it got. And it was Roadhouse mainly because of the bouncers. So my GM, Joe, was like 25 years old, 300 pounds, just an intimidating dude. He's really cool. And I love him. He's like a brother. He's kind of a dick boss, but, he's a good dude and super tough, right? And so he hired these guys, these security guys that were just vigilantes and were looking for any kind of trouble to break out so they could kick some ass. And they enjoyed it. And you would see times where I'd be in a DJ booth, DJing, getting drunk and flirting with girls and doing all the debaucherous stuff. And then a fight would break out. You would see a guy getting carried away by 4 security guards, right? Or like one on each limb. Like lifting him up, carrying him away with the 5th security guard tasing the guy. And now the security guys that are carrying him out are getting electric bolts too, right? Yeah. They don't even care. and then they would straight up throw them out on the street where the sheriffs be waiting to tase them again.
Yeah.
You know, it was rough. It was rough. And it would happen there all the time. And unfortunately, that reputation preceded them. And the city eventually figured out a way to shut the place down because it was just too crazy.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember when people would be like, we're going to Wildcat House. I'm like, have fun. I like, my liver.
Well, now that's hi-fi. There's always going to be a place where it's a meat market. And whenever the ratio is more men than women, around after midnight, like the gremlins come out. And once dudes realize they're not going to get laid, they start, peacocking and start like talking shit. And same thing with women too. TMZ Tucson's the best website to keep tabs on all that. In fact, I'll pull it up right now just to get caught up on TMZ Tucson to just relive old memories, which is always super fun.
Yeah. And I saw some really, I worked at a strip club in my 20s on Oracle Road, and yeah, there was some shootings while I was on stage. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, that was the reason why, I only flirted with the idea of being a strip club DJ. But then it wasn't the girls or the temptation that was there because, it's sex and drugs. That's a temptation.
Right.
And you get in that lifestyle that takes years off your life and it wears you down for sure, but it's fun. So that could have been worth the trade out, but just the clientele in general. Nah, I'm like,
oh my God, I saw some gnarly fights.
Yeah. Like, I chose to turn my life around and not go back to jail because I didn't want to hang out with dudes like this. Right. And so that's just how it was. And that was enough to be like, I'll figure out ways to make money other ways, even though it would have been easy money. Strip club DJs can easily make $1,000 a week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then never be like, never go on a cold streak of not getting laid. It's very simple. But at the same time, yeah, it's just that clientele. It's like, I don't feel like getting shot just because some girl wants to pour some sugar on me. Right.
I had a girl try to fight me over Theory of a Dead Man's Bad Girlfriend. I had requested the song. She's like, that's my song. And she's just drunk. And I'm like, listen, I'm about to quit. So don't get fired over this.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, they are so protective over their songs.
Right.
Like, shut up. You can both dance to the same songs. You guys have whack taste music.
Right.
Anyways. All right. So this is a hi-fi, speaking of which, for girls. And you hear a little soundbite in here like, hey, my brother's dead. Something like that. You killed my brother.
What?
Something like that. Yeah, listen.
You're my brother, bitch. Motherfucker. Every day the fucking dead, bitch. You know you're fucking crazy, bitch. You're crazy, nigga. You're fucking crazy. No. Bitch, you're the reason my brother's dead. No, let me come to you. You're the reason my brother's dead, bitch.
My brother's dead, bitch. You killed my brother, bitch. So that's sad that her brother passed away. I'm guessing it had something to do with pills. Here's another thing that happened. This is not in hi-fi. This is actually by Rico's Bar. Another video that TMZ Tucson posted.
Oh! I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it.
Oh, he's down.
Oh, shit.
That's a KO right there.
Help your folks, bro. Help your man. Yeah.
They almost like high five. Yeah, they're like holding hands.
Help your man. Help your man.
That's just him helping, man. The security just watched the whole thing. So I'm guessing that's outside Cobra, right? That tends to happen. Help your mans was the soundbite there. And then one more high wire or hi-fi.
Distillery.
And see, this is the reason why, and I mentioned this before on the podcast broadcast. You guys know this, that, for security and bouncers in bars, they much rather break up a guy fight than a girl fight. A guy fight is easy. You could break it up very easily because the people involved are really just waiting for somebody to pull them back, right?
Yeah.
Because cardio and things like that. But women, when they get into a fight, they go for blood. They go for death. And when they clamp onto the hair, they do not let go.
Yeah.
And those claws are out. And security guards get injured more breaking up women fights, female fights, than male fights every single time. And that's just a fact. Now, I also want to show you this while speaking of crazy bitches. This was our Florida man story of the day. I want to show these mugshots real quick of these Florida girls. Dixie Styles. This is Dixie Styles. Dixie Styles had her ear bit off during a fight and she's smiling in the mugshot. She's 18 years old. So, like we were saying, if you were listening on the FM side, so she's at a house party. There's a girl named Reagan who's 23. She's in a different mugshot. I'll show you Reagan here. Both, cute, crazy Florida girls.
Mhm.
So Reagan was about to leave, and Dixie, the 18-year-old Hellfire, accused her of stealing vapes and alcohol, right? And so then Reagan was like, "No, bitch, I didn't steal anything." Blah 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 blah. And then that's when Reagan pulled out a 9mm on Dixie.
Jesus.
And you think that'd be the end of the fight, but Dixie here, with the old crazy eyes, she fucking like knocked the gun away from Reagan.
And
It's
then-
like, no, boom, Chuck Norris her ass.
Right.
Then they got into a scrap, and Reagan bit off her ear, and they're still smiling in the mugshot. Florida man. All right. Welcome back. We're Rock 102.1 KFMA. Just showed those mugshots of both Dixie Styles and Reagan, our Florida Women of the Week. We got your TMI Top 5 coming up after new music from Avatar. So we have so much going on, and we're live on the podcast broadcast. YouTube.com/beefvegan. You got to check out Weirdo's fit. It's a nice fit, Weirdo.
Thank you.
Yeah, that podcast broadcast is live, and our TMI Top 5 is next. This is called The Dirt I'm Buried In on Rock 102.1 KFMA. You know the name of the show. That's it. Let's go.
Let's do something.
Whatever. Hey, Rick, what's going on? I know you love them crazy girls there, Nick. So do I. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I definitely have a type, and that type is not sane.
I do love that those women are like, Florida man, hold my beer and vape.
Mhm.
I got you.
Yeah, no, these Florida women, they don't mess around. They're even crazier. They're absolutely nutty. So, all right, well, let's kick off the show with this. I tried to get a hold of Hot Rock, but he put together a fantastic movie hack as he's doing it again. And I'm glad that he is, because he does a fantastic job with these movie hacks. You guys know this. So we're going to share his latest for a movie that's coming out this weekend, the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, which is getting plenty of great reviews. And I wish it was actually Hot Rock's version, because he went full New York on it. And in case you missed it, it goes a little something like this.
The
Check it out.
Super Joint movie preview hack, yo. Yeah. Hey, these edibles is working over here, Lonnie. Hey, look at him parkouring over here. Doing great, Donnie. Forget about it. That line was crazy at the dispensary.
Real talk. I don't care if y'all was doing Fruit Ninja again. I just need my
Sorry, Pops, you know that dispensary. It's like no one's even working over there. They're jabronis over there.
Yeah, no Gucci. Damn it, boys. Y'all ate my edibles again, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess we did. Hey, I hate to bring it up again, but why did we choose that teenage in our crew name over here?
I know, right? That was 15 years ago.
We're all in the mid-30s over here.
Going
over here. You know, like the Beastie
Drop it,
Boys.
Mikey.
I'm trying to be sleeping over here. Yeah, like fishes over here.
Hey, you's bugging over
we
there.
ever going to be able to afford our own apartment separate from Dad over
Probably
here?
not, Lonnie.
Yeah, we need a realtor over here. Hey, look, I hear you guys is looking for a realtor over here. I can't even believe
got a
it.
boyfriend?
So how much you make over here? We just started a YouTube channel over here, so we're going to be making some mad cheese real soon. A YouTube channel over there. Yeah, we got some other avenues of revenue, shorty, but I don't know who's listening over here. You know what I'm saying? We're working over here. Okay, let me recap this. You're 4 teenage turtles with no documented income looking for a 4-bedroom apartment in New York City. You're starting to sound a little hangry over here. You need a slice of pie, shorty? Hey, I think we're getting a little sidetracked over here. Dad told us we got to go to the dispensary and get him the edibles for the edibles that we already ate. Donnie's right. We got to, oh my God, is that Jeff Goldblum walking over there?
Hi.
You talking to me? I'm bugging out over here.
So, I don't know if you know.
Hey guys, I'm Jeff's best friend, Mark.
Mark, sweetie, we've talked about this, babe. Heard it through the ship, pal. You're looking for a new Spideroni.
How?
I'm the
Blah, blah,
world
blah,
famous
blah, blah.
spokesperson of apartments.com. Change your apartment. Change your
I love it
shell.
when you say that in the commercial over there. I don't know, you jabronis. I think Dad needs us over here. You're right, Bonnie. Let's stick with Dad for a little
Cut
longer.
back, Jack. You know, we got a contract, and if you mess with the flag, you get swatted.
All right, boys, let's go find us some protesters. I'm exhausted over here.
God damn it, Mikey. Who gave you them nunchucks? And Donnie, that stick. Always sticking in the wrong shit. And Ronnie, who gave you them forks last Christmas? Lonnie, I gave you that sword because I thought you were the leader. You'd remember to give me my damn edibles when you go to the dispensary.
Yeah, it's right over there. Jesus, Donnie, did you eat all the edibles again? Let's go get those edibles.
Thanks for all the memories.
Hey, look at me, I'm shifting over here. Hey, Donnie, look out. We've been to the dispensary like 7 times today. You know Mikey will eat anything over here.
Help me, help me.
Hey, what are you doing in the car?
Guys over here.
Yeah.
Hot Rock, of course, for that movie hack. He'll be live tonight at 7 o'clock. I don't know if I'm a fan of the animation style of the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I'd seen some like screenshots, like interesting, and then it started. And then my boyfriend and I got in a discussion of what the actual song was from the '90s.
For Teenage Mutant
Yeah,
Ninja
because I
Turtles?
was like, it's like turtles in a half shell, turtle power, right?
Yeah,
Something ninja power.
Heroes in a Half Shell, Turtle Power.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you got it right.
Yeah, of course
He
I
got
did.
it wrong. And then my girlfriend just like looking up the lyrics, she's like, y'all are wrong. That's not correct at all. And then Andrew also thought that it was for the movie. I was like, no, it's for the TV show. He's like, no, it was
Yeah.
on all of them. I'm like, no, it wasn't.
No,
Yeah, just
no.
the show.
And I know I was a Turtles fanatic and still am. So I am kind of excited. And the reviews for this new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie that's coming out this weekend are positive, and Seth Rogen's involved. But again, the animation style is much kind of like the Spider-Man movies in a way, but more kind of like comic and live action comic style, which
almost a little claymation.
it's really hard to kind of describe it, but it is different. And I don't know for like an hour and a half or 2 hours if I'll enjoy it, but it seems like a lot of other people are. So I don't know if I should be so pessimistic about it.
Right. And then the permanent teenager, Seth Rogen. That was good.
Yeah, he was good on that. All right, well, we're back here live on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Time for your TMI Top 5. There's the top 5 headlines I haven't gotten to today just yet, but let's get right off the bat. Here's somebody who was, speaking of crazy girls, someone should have picked up on this red flag before he almost died. A guy is shot twice in separate meetups with his girlfriend.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you know the old saying, like if first you don't succeed, try again, right? Well, according to police, a man in San Antonio got a call early yesterday morning from his girlfriend asking him to meet her at her house, and so he did. Now, the thing is, she asked him to do this on Sunday night as well. And when he got there on Sunday night, there was a group of dudes waiting for him and to kick his ass and shoot him. Now, he was able to get away and not get shot Sunday night. So then a couple days later, the girlfriend again says, hey, boo, why don't you come over and hang out? So he does. And when he got there, guess who else is there?
Those dudes.
A group of men who got out of the vehicle and shot him and then drove off. So this is the second time in like 4 days that it happened. The incident ended on Sunday night without him getting shot, but now he's in a hospital recovering from the meetup number 2, and his girlfriend is in jail for trying to kill him, which is good news because there's no doubt in my mind that this dude would meet up again on Saturday as soon as he got out of the hospital.
Was it fool me once, shame on you? Fool me twice, shame on me?
When it comes to a guy with full testicles, he'll do dumb things over and over again to get those things emptied. All right, Phoenix's streak of 110 plus days is finally over. It ended after 31 days. It ended on Monday. That is a new record, right? Of 110 degree days or more or hotter in a row.
Yeah.
31 days.
Oof.
Now, according to weather.com, temperatures could exceed 110 degrees again, I think today, and could be every day for the next week or two. So they could have a new streak going.
Yeah, and then Tucson had the hottest month on record.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, and it definitely has felt that way. I mean, I've definitely had some summers here in Tucson with a great monsoon. And I've been down here like 7 years where it felt very cool.
Right.
Like, oh, that was it? Nice.
Yeah, this is doable.
Uh-huh. Yeah, this summer, not the
Yeah,
case.
we tricked you.
All right, there's a new trend apparently of women not wearing underwear to the gym. Do you wear underwear to the gym?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why do you say it like that? What's the importance of wearing underwear to the gym?
All right, I'm going to admit it. A lot of women can relate to this. Whenever we do jump roping or sometimes squats, I've had children and I pee a little. So I definitely wear a pad and some underwear.
Okay.
Because it happens.
Hey, that makes sense. Hey, and that's fine. Yeah, some people are crediting Khloe Kardashian for popularizing this, but I will say this, ladies, if you're not going to be wearing underwear to the gym, then you cannot be upset and mad at guys for checking you out at the gym. I know that's a thing. You're like, hey, I'm working out here.
Yeah.
Don't you dare get my ass on the squats. Okay, well, I'm just trying to see if you're wearing underwear or not, and you're wearing white tights. So I can tell you you're not. Sorry, I'm still a man. I can't look away from these things. From car accidents and naked asses. Those are two things that my eyes are locked in on. And I drive slower, going past each.
Move to Florida, you'll get both.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Mattel is looking for a chief Uno player to get paid $4,444 a week for 4 weeks. Why? Well, they want him to play the latest version of their game, Uno Quattro. And I'm a killer Uno player, so I'd sign up for this in a heartbeat, especially for that pay. But seems like a shtick. If you want to be that Uno Quattro chief Uno player, then you got to hit up Mattel.com.
What's the difference between Uno? Because I know there's Uno Dos.
Yep.
Like, I don't understand. Why? Uno is a perfect
Yeah, it is. But Uno Quattro is twice the game of Uno Dos. That's just basic math. I know I'm around as a dude to explain math to you at all times, and I get called sexist. It's insane. Those are two of my top 5. We're keeping the conversation moving on the podcast. We got a lot to get to. You can join us youtube.com/beefvegan or stick around. We got music on the way for 311 and Takeover, which is going to be a band called Make Them Suffer, and it's Weirdo's request today. The song rocks, so you definitely want to hear Ghost of Me, and that's coming up here in a little bit on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. All right, so let me ask you guys this. We asked this question today. It was a running question throughout the show. Give us the most painful experience you ever had in your life. The way that I explained it is that what was the worst physical pain you ever felt?
Yeah.
And to make us cringe. And we had tons of great calls, insane calls. So give us in the comments the worst physical pain you ever felt in your life beyond childbirth. You not do childbirth, right? It's all dudes on the stream right now.
Right.
So for the most part, that are commenting, I'm sure there's some female lurkers, but yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, like, because I talked about breaking my pinky toe. I did it at work. Like, I was walking to rinse somebody's hair at the shampoo bowl, and I caught a chair. And you said same thing happened to you, and your toe was black from it. The more I think about it, man, when I was passing those gallstones, those were awful. And I was doing them on air, like passing them on air. Sometimes I'd be like, you got to give me a minute. And then like just in between segments, I'd be like keeled over.
Yeah, that's why women are tougher than men. 100%. I mean, I'm having poop cramps and I'm ready to tap out. So,
And then 2 days after my surgery, I came in. After I got my gallbladder out, I was like, yeah, I'll come in. It's no big deal. I'm all icing myself.
Yeah, let's see. Is the audio okay? You guys are talking about the audio on the stream. I'm gonna see what the audio looks like here. Boom, boom, boom. It should be good on my end, but yeah, you're saying it's a little glitchy. All right, I don't understand what that is. Maybe I'm coming in too hot. We'll figure it out. But in the meantime, while we're doing that, okay, sounding good now. I didn't do anything different, but I do appreciate that. Earlier this morning, we had an excellent session of F My Life. And in case you missed it, went a little something like this.
Loving by your mom.
Awkward. It is awkward.
Did you do something that got you fired from your job?
I just get stupid. It's fun being stupid.
Don't hide this in vain. Let us laugh at your pain. Call 600 KFMA right away.
I promise we won't embarrass you.
Because Beef Vegan presents F My Life. F My Life. F My Life.
Yes, it's time for another round of your F My Life. These are unfortunate situations. Email to me at beefvegan@kfma.com, subject line FML. But of course, if you have an F My Life you care to share on the air, you can give us a call 600 KFMA. That's 600-5362. And if Weirdo and I agree your life is F, we'll hook you up with a $20 gift certificate to Catalina Craft Pizza on Oracle, north of Tangerine. Are you ready, Weirdo?
I am.
All right, first email sent to me by Mary. She said, my hypochondria is getting worse. I think it's because of watching too much Grey's Anatomy.
Oh my God, is that my mom? My mom's name's Mary, and she's a hypochondriac.
Is she watching Grey's Anatomy?
I think she used to.
Is that F My Life or Big Baby?
Yeah, Big Baby.
Yeah, switch it up, man. You're doing it to yourself for sure. You know, like
do it like everybody else. Go to WebMD.
Right. Yeah. Like I would if I don't want to be obsessed about aliens coming over and snatching our bodies and souls, then I will stay off YouTube for a while. You understand?
Yeah.
You know, so keep that in mind. All right. Next up, my life sent to me by Sebastian. He said, today I went into work early so I can get all my work done and leave on time rather than staying back. The later shift starters had other ideas and called in sick.
Oh.
Ah.
Yeah.
See,
F your life, dude.
Right? Trying to be responsible. It doesn't matter. Other people affected. So yeah, that's an F My Life for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, my female sent to me by Alex. He said, this weekend, my blind date thought that was the best way to start off. I'm sorry. Rephrase. This weekend, my blind date thought the best way to start off is to show up blind drunk.
Ooh.
She ended up puking on the table and leaving me to pay.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, of course you're going to pay, though. I mean, that's just stereotypical, but puking on the table, that's gross. I hope you tipped extra because somebody has to clean that up.
Right.
And I don't think it was you. F My Life, what do you say?
Yes.
Yeah. And blind date. Who goes on blind dates anymore? Amazing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Who set that up? Your friend must hate you.
Yeah. All right, Dennis sent me this next email. He said, today my wife insisted we start a college fund for our son, even though from where we were sitting in the kitchen, we could clearly see him eating ice cream. He just dropped on the floor while picking at his belly button. He's 13. College, sure. F my life for Dennis?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm going to say big baby, Dennis. I would say start that college, tuition fund anyways. And if your kid continues to be stupid and doesn't go to college, then you're going to need that money for bail. So, either way, you're going to have that money set aside. All right. And final up my life of the day, sent to me by Cammie. Cammie said, while at dinner with my current boyfriend, my ex walked in with his new girlfriend. The waiter put them at the table next to ours, and the two of them had a front row seat to me spilling an entire guacamole salad on my lap out of nervousness.
Oh, sounds like something I would do.
This is a reminder that Tucson is a small town.
Oh my God.
Yes. Do you feel her pain?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel her pain too, dude. For real. Like 100% F my life. Couldn't even imagine. And you wasted a good guacamole salad.
Mm-hmm.
You know that's a good guacamole salad. So keep those.
And that's hard to clean up too. It's not like, oh, I spilled a little water. Ha ha. No, guacamole sucks.
Yeah. So brutal. Hey, what about the ex though? In that situation, you're looking over and seeing your like ex-girlfriend get nervous and spill the guacamole salad all over yourself while you're on a date with someone maybe hotter. You're like, yeah, I won.
I would just laugh.
Yeah. All right. Keep those emails coming. beefvegan@kfma.com. Just don't forget to do the subject line FML.
I missed that shit this morning.
Oh, you missed that single song. It was Summer's Fun bullshit. Oh, it's the same song that I actually announced yesterday. It's Red Hot Chili Peppers, Give It Away at 5:00. I said that yesterday because I read
You read the wrong promo suite.
You read the wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're listening for that again. So Red Hot Chili Peppers, Give It Away at 5:00 with Razor.
You're awesome, dude. Thank you so much.
No problem, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, later.
All right, and then I got the other Nick still on the phone. Other Nick or OG Nick was telling me about this most painful experience he had was in Flagstaff, where when he was a kid, he was about 10 years old, and he ran into a tree, was knocked out for days, woke up in the hospital, headache forever. And at least you got the most painful thing out of your way at an early age, huh?
Yeah.
So I silver line it.
Well, until now, the day is not over yet.
Oh, be careful out there. Yeah, I'll say that again.
People just further adding to my argument of never leave your house.
I know.
Just stay home.
I know. All right.
Well, I am sitting underneath a tree.
There you go. Nice. Well, I appreciate you sharing that story, Nick. I'll talk to you here soon. I got to get ready to announce this single song takeover.
All right, later, guys.
All right, peace. All right, and then we'll do a quick segment, and then I got to play confession session, and then try to run to the bathroom.
You just got to be like me. Poop quick.
Yeah. That's a chick thing.
Is it?
Guys like to meditate, take our time.
That's what we call it in our house. We're like, who's in the bathroom? Dad's meditating. It's like, all right, then it's going to be 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's where I make my life plans and also relive my entire life. It flashes before my eyes in slow motion.
You're like, is this about to be an Elvis thing? Am I going to die?
Yeah, I usually finish up right when both legs go numb. Yeah, that's kind of a thing. All right, let's get right into this, Weirdo. Your single song takeover is yours today.
Yes.
And you want to hear a band called Make Me Suffer. Tell me about them.
Make Them Suffer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're a metalcore band out of Australia. I really like them because they've got a screamer and they've got a clean vocalist who's female. Her name's Alex. And I really like them. This is a single that came out in May.
Excellent.
Called Ghost of Me.
All right, here you go. Single song takeover. Weirdo's pick. Make Them Suffer. Ghost of Me and Rock 102.1 KFMA. Turn it up. Oh, yeah. Listen to this. This is hardcore. Okay, I got to hear some of this. So while we do that, luckily for you, we got a short little morning moron that I'd like to share with you and one little something like this. I'm KFMA. It's now 6:16 and time for your morning moron. Let's do this. Oh, my God. This guy. I'm so frustrated with this guy, okay? And I think anyone out there who's did any kind of jail time or any kind of situation where you've been like locked up and you can't get out until a certain date, you understand the frustration. All you want to do when you're in that situation is get out, right? Especially when you're young. When I went to jail, Tent City, and I had to go back and forth for an entire year, just, doing a bunch of nonsense. I was 18 years old. So, like even being in there 10 days seemed like an eternity. And I would do whatever just to escape that 10 days. And I would have weekends and I would skip weekends and get in more trouble just because even the thought of being locked up just for a little bit was infuriating and just I couldn't deal with it. Right. So I could kind of relate to this guy, but at the same time, I smacked my head in disbelief and disappointment and have to dub him a morning moron. He's a 21-year-old in Mississippi who escaped from a correctional facility last August. Okay. So he was doing a 7-year sentence for aggravated assault. Now he's 21 and he's doing a 7-year sentence for aggravated assault. Okay. But he was expected to be released last December. No, he fled the prison and he broke into a nearby home and held 3 people at gunpoint for hours. How he got a gun, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Right. And this kid was 100% a kid. He was in jail in juvie since he was 14, and then he turned it into an 18-year-old and they transferred him to an adult prison. This is his whole growing up in his life, but he was almost done and over with. Now, granted, he was screwed from the get-go. There was no possible way or against all conceivable odds that this kid could turn around and have a productive, successful, traditional life, right? But at the same time, if you're going to be released from prison in a few months, the last thing you should do is escape from prison.
Yeah.
Because that's what he did right before he was about to get out, and all that time was behind him. So after he did held 3 people at gunpoint for hours, he stole a car from one of the hostages and then crashed it because he never knew how to drive because he'd been in jail his entire adolescence. Jeez. Right? Police later found him hiding in a trash can, fittingly enough, and they rearrested him. So since he broke out a few months before he was going to get out anyways, and now he's being sentenced to 40 years in state prison.
Jesus.
So he went from about to taste freedom for the first time since he hit puberty in just a few months.
Yeah.
To jumping the gun, holding people up by hostage by gun, just making all the wrong decisions, then getting locked back up and knowing that he's going to be in prison for his entire life.
Right.
The majority of his entire life, he's 14 years old until now, 61 years old is when he may potentially get out.
Oh, that's rough.
It's bad, right? And some people and stuff, they get hit with the ugly stick. Some people get hit with the stupid stick. Some people get hit with both, and it's just very difficult for them and unfair for them. And I feel for this 21-year-old kid. Hot damn, Rock 102.1 KFMA. That was hardcore. Make Them Suffer is the name of the track. That song came out in May, and it was in our playlist, which is fantastic. That means Razor played it in Incoming. So you could always check out songs like that in Incoming each and every Sunday night with the Razor. And that was Weirdo's single song takeover. So did you dig it? Let us know by sliding in our DM and commenting on our podcast broadcast stream on the Rock 102.1 Facebook page. All right. So let's get into this. There was a Reddit thread that I came across that I found very interesting. It was called Does Anybody Else? Right. And it's where people list things, the weird things that they do, and ask if other people do them too. Right.
Okay.
So I want you with full transparency, and I'll do the same, and all the streamers as well comment along if you do these things, because I got basically the top 10 that BuzzFeed put together of things that are pretty common, but uncommon at the same time. I'll give you an example. Like, have you ever, or does anybody else ever spend 30 minutes writing an email that ended up being only 2 sentences?
Yeah. Yeah.
You overthink that?
I overthink everything.
But not since ChatGPT, I'll tell you that much. Most of my responses, thank you, with the AI assist. All right. So, but yes, I am one of those people as well, or was. All right. Here's another one. Do you ever put on a sock, spot a hole in it, decide it's the last time you'll wear those socks, but then forget and wash them again and repeat the process?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, when you have a hole in the sock, right, do you also kind of like try to fold the sock up and like squeeze it between your toes to make sure you don't have a hole?
No, I do not do that. But my girlfriend gets really mad at me and my husband because we will do that. We'll wear socks. We wear stuff until it falls apart. And then she will finally just Hulk that, rip it apart and throw it away and be like, you cannot wear it again.
Yeah, the hardest thing I have to throw away are underwear. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, but
They're
definitely
expensive.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, if you look through my underwear drawer, there's still a bunch of underwear that I don't wear anymore that I haven't thrown away that are essentially just mini skirts at this point, completely blown out. And there's really no point.
Yeah. My boyfriend airs out his little buddies because he's got a couple of pairs that he will not get rid of.
Yeah, I call them like the Arizona air conditioning, honestly.
Yep.
And basically, it's a great way if those underwear are great if you want to sag and free ball at the same time. All right. What about this? Does anybody else, when your pet is on your lap and you need to get up, do you ever try to explain it to them? Like, I have to go get a drink, but don't leave. I'm coming back. You ever talk to your pet like that?
I have. Yeah.
Yes.
Or just be like, Roxy, I really need you to move, buddy. You are fat and chunky and I love you, but you are taking up too much space on the couch.
Right. Yes. And just a reminder, they don't know what you're saying. All right. So here's some more. And these are pretty relatable, obviously. We've pretty much done all these. But when you flush the toilet, but don't get a full flush, so you have to stand there and wait for the tank to refill. So you get a full flush. I guess that's pretty common. Do you ever, when you think of a song or movie that is amazing, but then you show it to someone else and suddenly feel self-conscious, like it's really not that great?
Oh, I oversell everything. I'm like, oh my God, this is the funniest video ever. And then I show somebody and they're like, meh. I'm like, oh, okay.
You know, when it comes to taste, I'm very opinionated, right? As you can tell, I consider myself a tastemaker like many of you. So if I'm really passionate about something, like you'll love this song, I will be offended if you don't agree. You know, and I've definitely have done that where like, oh, you got to check this out. And seeing the look of disappointment in people's faces, like, I'm not really feeling it. But like, well, you don't feel anything then.
You've been disappointed when it wasn't a band that I knew. I was like, I don't know them. You're like, really?
Yeah.
How can you not know this band? I'm like,
I know. That's more me thing than anything else. All right. Let's see. Just a couple more left. Do you ever bump into something and say, ouch, even though it didn't hurt?
Wait, repeat. I blanked out.
Do you ever bump into something and say, ouch, even though it didn't hurt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or apologize.
To like inanimate objects?
Yeah, we were at some place in the mall and I have really bad peripheral vision and I bumped into a mannequin thinking because somebody had walked behind me about the same time. So I thought I bumped into the person. So I turned, but all my husband saw was me apologize to a mannequin. I'm real special.
Yes, absolutely. That's why you wear a helmet when you go shopping.
Uh-huh.
All right. And this final one, I can relate to, and I think is the most relatable. And I think most people do this. I could be wrong. So let me know if you do this. When you have to spell the word Wednesday, do you sound it out in your head as Wednesday?
Before autocorrect, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the way I do it. I mean, hell, I still, even when I spell beautiful, I always say B-A-beautiful. B-A-beautiful person. There's a couple of these spelling hacks.
What about definitely?
Oh, I just messed that up.
Yeah.
I say most def, like the rapper, M-O-S-T-E-F, and then throw up the deuces. Keeping the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/BVegan. More coming up after this. All right, so.
Defiantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's thank God for autocorrect. That's when people finally started spelling that word correctly.
Right. As Blue says, Weirdo, your cup runneth over.
Yeah. I'm not sure who Blue is. He seems new.
Yeah.
And he was just like,
why'd you say he?
Maybe she says this woman is married. Damn it. Should have known. LOL. And it's like, yeah, married and boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'm triple taken.
Yeah, well, I mean, triple taken, but at the same time, when you have that much, are you always kind of like scouting for potential other teammates to add to the squad?
Nope.
So polycube, you're gonna stop at a cube. You don't want to do a polyoctagon or polysextagon because what's in the name? Right?
No, we have no time.
That's true.
Like we have zero time.
I know. I really have time for one. So I mean, honestly, I get exhausted. And welcome, Blue.
Yeah,
and welcome to
welcome.
the channel. But I get exhausted just thinking about your schedule and not even just the sex life part. I get exhausted thinking about that.
Hold on. Let me pull this up for folks and I'll kind of scroll through it quick. This is just this week.
Well, you're showing in the wrong camera.
Yep.
And I'll go full screen for you.
Yeah, that is our schedule. That is on duty parent. That is kids' activities, my activities. Everybody's color coded. That is just this week alone.
Yeah.
And school hasn't even started yet.
No, yeah. See,
Yeah,
I get
crazy.
I get anxiety attacks just thinking about your schedule.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot.
Yeah.
And more power to you. And it's not like it's all been like the honeymoon. You know what I mean? It's a lot of effort, a lot of work, and that's the one takeaway that we've learned from knowing Weirdo and the polycube situation. A lot of people, guys on the surface, are like, oh yeah, you get to bang multiple people right on. And like the work you got to put in to bang multiple people is exhausting.
Oh my God. Leading up till Christmas, my boyfriend was just like, oh crap. And we're like, what? And he's like, I'm going to disappoint 2 women this Christmas. And I'm like, you're going to do just fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. No, I mean, we haven't actually talked about it in a while with my whole family
No,
thing.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, that's because, again, because it's such a complex situation. I don't want to add fuel to a fire or cause any ripples or any, issues amongst that. I know that your partners all listen to the show at various points. And there are great days. You have many great days, but there's some days that are difficult, and I don't want to mention those.
Right. Well, and I mean, but that's just for everybody, right? Like whether you're in a monogamous relationship or not, like there's just bad days. It's just sometimes my 3 relationships, 2 of them might be bad days, and it double sucks. But we have, from where we've come in a year, from last year to this year, we really realized that this last weekend, because our camping trip, nothing went right. But oh my God, we still had so much fun. Well, it's just to show that like we now roll with the punches. We don't take a lot of things personally. Of like when something goes wrong, it's not because somebody was doing something malicious. It's just like shit happens.
Yeah.
And we all play to our each individual strengths. Okay. You know what I mean? Like if it is something where it's like boyfriend kind of is in charge of financial stuff. And my husband is like, that's just not my strong suit. So I'm going to take the step back because my husband's strong suit is like with the kids and the emotional well-being and things like, so we just play to each other's strengths and we don't hold it against the other person for not having that strength.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, we just kind of go into those roles and it's really nice.
And that makes sense. But for where you've come in like a year, that always leads me to this question. It's like, where do you come?
Everywhere. All the time, multiple times a day. It's fine.
I was just waiting for you to stop talking just so I can tell that stupid joke. All right?
You're always looking for the punchline, and I appreciate it.
You can't say that to me, and I'm going to be all over it. There is a TikTok video that went viral that is interesting because it talks about this generation not drinking, and apparently they don't drink that often. There has been recent reports that Gen Z is just drinking way less, and the clubs aren't happy about it. Because the clubs aren't selling edibles, to make up for it. Here is somebody who went viral explaining why they're not drinking at the clubs, and it makes perfect sense, honestly. And I'm going to share this with you here as I pull this up. Whoop. Just getting it ready here. I thought I had it ready instantly, but I don't. So here we go. This is the video. From Crisp.
Wait, is this fucking play? Actually, a lot of us are still drinking, just not at the club. Now, I can't speak for other cities, but in New York and the Bay Area, clubs are literally charging $20 for a tiny drink that tastes like gasoline, and that doesn't even include tip, because I'm going to tip. Ideally, I'd like to buy a drink about once an hour. So let's say I go out for an average of 3 hours. That's like $70 just to go out and drink, aka like a week of groceries. So at least for me and my friends, not that we're not drinking, it's that we're pre-gaming like nobody's business because we're economical women.
That's right. So, the problem is this generation and these clubs are too expensive and the generation is too broke. So they just have to pre-game for days before even going to the club. And it makes sense. But, $70 a week for groceries, that seems insanely low as well.
Right.
Because there's been plenty of studies that show quite the opposite. With the shrinkflation and inflation, and it's affecting people who aren't. Actually, I have this stat that I'm going to share with you, and this is my only soapbox moment of the day, and it is frustrating, and I relate to it, right? Because if you're struggling with bills, you're not alone. More than half of U.S. adults say they live paycheck to paycheck. More than half. I mean, according to a new report, that number is actually at 61%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the wealth gap is that far apart, right? 61% of Americans are paycheck to paycheck. And it suggests that lower income workers have been hit the hardest by price increases. As we talk about this, if people are making 6 figures a year, it doesn't really bother them that much. They realize that it's more expensive. But when you're talking $20 extra to somebody who's living paycheck to paycheck,
right,
that's a large percentage of their income, and it adds to the stress. And again, like I said, 100% in that situation. Now, because food and other staples account for a bigger share of household budgets, this is why it hurts them so much. And among consumers earning less than $50,000 annually, roughly 3/4 were living paycheck to paycheck in June because rent prices higher and everything else. So $50,000 a year is not like a comfortable living. In fact, actually, $50,000 a year was what Schmonty was getting paid when he first got hired here, and he was living in Marana, right? And that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Can't do that now.
No.
So that's how quickly things have raised in cost.
Yeah.
And the condo that I'm living at right now is decent. It's like $1,200 a month. It was $600 a month 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So 100% increase within 6 years. They didn't make it nicer.
Well, like the food costs, like we were just talking about my family and like how we each have our roles. Like mine's grocery shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like in the last month alone, the amount of like research and reconnaissance missions to like Costco and checking websites and which grocery store, like I have to do that because we are a large family. We are 7. And I'm trying to do this for $2,900 a month is our budget for the groceries. And I'm trying to get it down.
Yeah.
Shout out to Costco. They're helping a lot.
Yeah.
But we also live in an 1,100 square foot house and we are struggling to store said bulk ordering of food.
Yeah.
Because that's the way that you save money is getting wholesale a lot, the bigger box items. And it's like, it's just this balance. It's a part-time job on myself to be able to like afford groceries.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's bulk buying.
Prices.
In fact, actually, for a side hustle, you should work for corporations that buy food for like food banks and stuff because essentially you're doing the same thing.
Yeah. Could do that.
Surprisingly cheap is Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's has really been coming out as the savior to the low income family.
Really?
Yeah, man. I end up I'm always surprised when I check out at Trader Joe's. Like it seems like it's $30 less than wherever I spend.
Okay, well then I'm gonna have to throw that because we price match Costco, Fry's, Walmart. Yes, sometimes Natural Grocers because there's just certain items that they have that we need. Thrive is also another one. And then Subscribe and Save on Amazon. So like literally
that's too much effort
things.
for me. That's too much. And I do most of my dinners like at Sprouts. And here's another example of the inflation that's going up, and I recognize it because before I got into a relationship, I basically that was my diet. That's how I had lost weight. I was going to Sprouts for those 1-pan deals all the time and just pop them in toaster oven. Boom, you got a nice healthy low carb meal. Those same 1-pan meals, say for like the salmon, they used to run like $10. Now they're $20. So they doubled in price. Everything is more expensive everywhere. So,
and that was part of my final decision to stop doing hair on the side. Besides this, was the cost of product. Like I could get a 1 liter bottle of shampoo for like $9, now $22.
Yeah.
So there was no reason for me to turn around and do retail.
Yeah. No, I agree. And Manny actually said Sprouts is good for produce, which will lead me to this question that I'm going to ask on the air here. Because it is interesting that you mentioned your basically your go-to list of various places you have to go to just for groceries for the week. I feel like that's a hack that a lot of people are living day to day, and I'll explain what I mean. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We were talking about, a study that I came across that made me upset, but also relatable, saying that most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. 61%, in fact, living paycheck to paycheck. So consumers are earning less than $50,000 a year annually. That's roughly 3/4 of them were living paycheck to paycheck in June because all the prices keep going up. And we started talking about, all the different responsibilities we have about grocery shopping, how much it costs a grocery shop. And I said how Trader Joe's is kind of coming in for the win because they're surprisingly cheaper when it comes to groceries. But Manny pointed out to me, and this is something that I've been doing for years as well, and I'm sure you guys do this too. And I wanted to ask if you do. So Manny says Sprouts is the go-to for produce. And that's true, right? You're going to get cheaper produce at Sprouts.
Right.
So I find myself going to 2-3 different grocery stores just to get a full set. If I'm going to get like household items, I'm going to go to Fry's. If I need produce and protein, I'll go to Sprouts. If I'm going to do snacks and other healthy items, I go to Trader Joe's. I got to go 3 grocery stores to get the stuff that I need, and that way I don't spend $5,000.
Yeah, and see, we were already in that habit of going to multiple stores because we have so many dietary restrictions in our house. I know you give me crap for being like gluten free and all these other things, but like my boyfriend has a corn allergy.
Yeah, that's
like.
gross.
Then there's corn in everything. So like we were already in that habit of going to multiple stores to get these things, but now we've moved to multiple stores for the cheapest prices.
Right.
Period. Like, and yeah, especially the produce thing. So, like some people, it sucks. Household cleaning products.
Yep.
Target.
Yeah.
Target is the best route because if you buy 2 at a time, you'll get a $5 gift card towards your next purchase. So like, and then you stack it and use their, what do they call it? Cartwheel or something.
Mhm.
So actually Target has been cheapest for us to get household cleaning products.
What about the dollar store for cleaning items?
I mean, it's Fabuloso. It's all
Yeah,
Fabuloso,
I
just in
know.
different bottles.
See, that's the thing. Like that's a go-to, but nobody wants their house to smell like Fabuloso.
No, we don't like to do a whole lot of chemicals in our house. So, but Target has been, because again, dye and fragrance free is what we have to do in our house.
Right.
So otherwise my girlfriend will die.
It's so stupid. So how many stores do you have to go to a week to do your grocery shopping and your household everyday needs? 600 KFMA, 605-362. I want to know your routine. So go ahead and sound off. We're live on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beefvegan. Music on the way by Rage and your beef tip after this.
I wonder if anybody can beat mine because it's like 8 different sources we use.
No, I don't think they can. And even me, I'm thinking 3 or 4 is still pretty rough. And luckily, you know, the area that I moved into a little closer for all those locations. So I don't have to drive as many miles and it doesn't take as much time and depending on the day. But yeah, it is such a process where it's just like, okay, well, you know, today I got to go here and then tomorrow I got to go there.
Right. But what's nice about like all the stores have websites or apps now. So like we actually have a running spreadsheet of like all the different things. You know, we've added Costco recently, but Thrive is a good one because they do, especially for our supplements and that kind of stuff. Yeah. They actually have the best prices. So
all right, that's good to know.
But yeah, we compare. Like I will be in Costco. I'm like, wait, is this really cheaper at Fry's or is it, you know what I mean? Like that's what we have to do.
Yeah. I know. Sometimes you just got to do that. Let's see. I guess I can't even play Rage. So I was going to do a little bit of the confession session, but I will do that. So we had a great confession session today. Here's the first half of it in case you missed one little something like that. 1 KFMA. Before we get into the confession session, I just want to give you a compliment. You got this Gothic 50's housewife look happening right now. Are you posting those pictures on Instagram? Or?
Yeah, I'll post it.
You should.
Yeah,
and you
I was
should
just
check
gonna
out.
send it to my girlfriend. She's like, how'd the outfit work out? Because I picked my outfit the night before.
Yeah, okay.
Because we get up so early. We don't want to disturb our other partners. So.
Good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, you got this kind of like updo that looks like a dreadlock beehive, and yeah, you look very much like a wife from the sitcom in the 50's, but then all black.
And my scarf has skulls on it and spiders, but yes.
Yeah. It's like Morticia meets like I Dream of Jeannie, something like that. Or
Morticia meets I Love Lucy.
Maybe I wasn't thinking Lucy.
Lucille Ball had the best outfits on that show.
All right, yeah, she was a freak too.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's good. Let's get into our confession session with Weirdo. These are anonymous emails that have been sent to Weirdo. It's a great way to just kind of get a secret that you've been keeping off of your chest. You can do so anonymously and you'll feel better. All right, so what's our first confession that we have here, Weirdo?
In this one, you got to take a lesson. You need to listen to your spouse all the time. All right, so I was contacted by a lawyer that one of my cousins had left some money when he passed. No one knew at the time of his death that he had this much money. And there's loads of us, and we all got $12,000 each.
Nice.
I briefly mentioned this to my husband, but he never listens to me and didn't take it in. I never mentioned it again and spent it all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know what? That's not your husband's fault, though. You know, because again, I've said this before, and this is not a sexist thing. This is a legit scientific fact that guys don't have the ability to hear higher pitch frequencies very often. So it's very easy for a guy to literally not hear you just because of the frequency of your voice. And that's just the way that our brains kind of like react and take in the noises that we hear. So
and who sponsored this study and research?
No, there's been several different studies. Okay. I mean, I've been doing this morning radio thing for now 15 years, and I've come across this a survey or a study talking about this fact several times over, enough to where I know it's true. It's the same thing with music. Like music can easily become like background sounds to men because it just kind of registers the same part of the brain. So it's not their fault. You know, I'm going to assume that it wasn't your husband's fault and he wants to hear every word that comes out of your beautiful mouth. He just can't because the game's on.
Right.
And you sound like music. What's another confession?
All right. Not sure what's worse, finding out my wife is having an affair or the fact the affair is with an accountant named Bob.
Ooh,
Ugh.
ouch. That's rough, dude. That is rough, man. Because, well, I mean,
What a boring white collar dude.
Pick your poison. Would you rather have, your spouse cheat on you with somebody who is far superior in bed and better looking, or somebody who you feel like is not as good and it's kind of like a step down? Which one would be worse?
Probably the step down.
You think the step down?
Yeah, step down.
Because it's a blow to your ego, right?
Right.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, every guy in a relationship, new is always a step up, no matter if it is a physical step down, because that's new, exciting, fresh kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I'm single. All right. What else?
In my early 20s, I had a one-night stand with an older woman.
Oh, nice.
In the morning, we swapped contact details, and when I gave her my quite unusual full name, her face turned white. She then asked if I went to blank elementary school. Turns out she had taught me when I was 7 years old. She was mortified.
Yes! Yes! That shouldn't even be an anonymous confession. That should be on your bio on Facebook. Legend.
Right there. That's so good.
That is funny. I mean, it does suck for her, though.
Yeah.
For sure.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, but I have imagined many times over as a young man. My kindergarten teacher, Miss Miller, still to this day, if I came across her, she's probably 70 right now. She'd still get it. Still get it. She forever has a little bit of my heart.
Oh,
yeah, I know. She stole it when I was 5. Yeah. So if you're out there, Miss Miller, I'm looking for you.
I did have a substitute teacher in 3rd grade that looked exactly like Tommy, the Green Power Ranger from the Power Rangers.
Oh.
All of the girls in the class are like, "Oh my God, how are you?" Like long hair and everything.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Still couldn't find that dude.
It probably really was Tommy for the Green Power Ranger because they didn't get paid much on that show.
No, they did not.
Yeah, so gotta have a side hustle. Well, give me another confession here, weirdo.
All right. Back in school, there was a rumor that a girl had a really bad fear of bananas. Thought she was full of it and was just being dramatic for attention. So I snuck a bunch in her backpack. She had a complete meltdown. And to this day, I still feel guilty about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is so weird about these weird phobias that people have. Like I was watching, the challenge, and Jemmy from the challenge had a phobia of ketchup, which I thought was ridiculous. And then another legendary story is The Undertaker, WWE icon and Hall of Famer. He has a phobia of cucumbers.
What?
Yes.
I have not heard this.
Yes. And this is odd because he's like 6'10", 300 pounds, badass, right?
Right.
So you wouldn't think much would scare him, but he's scared of cucumbers for whatever reason. And one time, you're going to have to hear that story another time. Sorry. All right, that's all the time we have for today. Unfortunately, I did not have time to squeeze in that Rage Against the Machine song, but I know that Robin Nash is probably playing some Rage coming up, so just keep it here all morning long. And you're listening for that signature heating and cooling summer fun song, which will be played during Robin Nash's shift. That's all I can tell you right now. So just keep it here if you want to qualify for that New Mexico trip. Before we leave you, let me give you a beef tip. These are 4 words or 5 words you should never use to describe yourself on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So if you're out there trying to look for a job and you got your resume, don't use these words. It's going to come off bad. Okay. The first word is world class. So it's undefined and less impressive than you think. So if you could describe yourself as world class, a world class douche. You say, don't say responsible for. Talk about results instead, not just your duties. Motivated. You shouldn't take credit for things you're supposed to do.
Right.
So take motivated out of the equation. Creative has been overused so much it's become generic. So you can't use creative, which sucks because that's essentially the only thing I got to offer. And then guru.
What?
Yes. Now, people do describe themselves as a guru, which I don't know who would do this, but it's fine if other people use this term to describe you. I was thinking the same thing.
Warning, cult leaders trying to take over your business.
Yeah. So, okay, to summarize, when looking for a job or describing yourself on LinkedIn to attract other employers, do not describe yourself as a world-class douchebag cult leader. And if you don't do that, you should get a job in no time. Thank you guys for listening. Tomorrow morning, Rico will be on Rap GPT, the whole 9. Thank you guys so much for listening. I already said that. I'm repeating. I'm glitching. Drive safe, ride safe, rock local. Enjoy the rest of your day. Sometimes I do great. I mean, sometimes I just fry out.
Yeah, maybe it's 9:59.
And to all your grief.
Bye, guys.
But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.
Love you guys.